for that group fitness instructor who's either going on YouTube or teaching in class in front of people, what are the upgrades you think are worth it? And are there any upgrades that you think are kind of overhyped that they probably don't need for their classes? What will make the biggest impact?
Good audio is really important. I don't know how good this is right now still, but good audio is important. And that, like, these Rode mics are great. And I say Rode, they're R-O-D-E. They are really good. They're super easy to use. The first one that I had was not Rode brand, and it was pretty good. Like, I got it on Amazon. It was good for the time that I had it and what I needed it for. But then when I was able to upgrade, I did. So like you have to remember that everything's going to come in phases, and eventually you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to splurge and spend the money on this because in the long run, it's going to be worth it. Again, like shooting with your phone is totally fine anymore because the cameras are so good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't even, like you can eventually, if you want to get good cameras, get them, but to start out, I don't even think it's that big of a deal to do that. There's probably a lot of really good webcams out since I started doing this because I was ordering Logitech ones that were not that expensive. But they were not good. They weren't good. But the one that I use for the Louis cam, the doggy cam now, I think it's a Logitech. I got it last year, and it's way better, really crisp and clear than some of the ones that I had gotten in the past.
Since you're using a lot of technology, what's your biggest technical failure that you've had so far?
That?
Okay, you just answered that. I forgot.
Biggest technical failure. Probably the audio, because I just was not wanting to spend that money on getting better audio. I think I was afraid of how much work it would be to like try to figure out all the things, and it was so dumb because I'm just like, I figured out this much already, and I don't think I'll be able to figure that out. So, but audio still sometimes is because this is it. I use a couple different audio apps for music, and all of them are different. So like, people are like, why don't you just keep the settings on your mixer the same every day? And I can't, because if I use Yes Fitness music, it might be way up here, and then the next day I use Epidemic Sound and it's down here. And even sometimes in Epidemic Sound, one song might be different than the other, and so I mean, that's kind of challenging. Really, there's not much you can do about it.
Have you found a way to get around the music issue? Last time we talked, that was actually the big thing, is like you can't monetize those videos that much because, Taylor Swift wants to get paid.
Right.
And I think about that. Sometimes I'm driving around and I'm thinking about that conversation we had. I'm like, how can I come up with an idea where you can get some music that you don't have to pay people for?
I know. Yeah. No, I know. Actually, I have a couple friends who are lawyers, and they said the same thing. They're like, well, I don't understand. And I'm like, well, it's just the way it is. But I do use, so Epidemic Sound is great for strength workouts, like I said, because they have a beat, but they don't, and they give you the BPM, but they don't have to be 32 count. Pure Energy Fitness Music, which is a UK-based company, they do have pretty good mixes that I pay for that a year. They are really good. They're pretty good mixes. There's a lot of house and, pop music sounding stuff. A lot of them sound like songs that you've heard, but they're not actually songs you've heard. And I use those for the ones that are on my website, so legally I could do that. Also, they don't get copyright claims on YouTube. So sometimes I'll use those for like a more beginner YouTube, like a beginner step class. Also, so the music's not distracting. Like sometimes people start singing and then you're like, oh, what am I doing? Yeah. So Pure Energy and Epidemic are the best for if you want to use music for monetizing. Pure Energy is great for 32 count music, but Epidemic is not, unfortunately. I've even tried to download some songs from Epidemic Sound and put them into Mixmeister and mix them myself into a 32 count. But then you have to sit and listen to each song to make sure each 4-minute or 3-minute song is 32 counts. So this takes like forever. I do want to just give you a couple quick things about the rest of my setup because I didn't tell you that before the checklist. So you can cut this into the before the checklist that I went off over here with. So I come down after I schedule my stream. That next morning, I come downstairs. And I literally say this to myself every morning because my first light is over there. Lights, camera, but I don't say action. And I say lights, camera. Then I turn on my monitors for the stream. And they come over, and on my iPad, I can control, you think you can see it back there, I can control what this does back there. So I
Oh,
can change
yeah.
the colors. Yeah, that's why I love it. And it can do all kinds of neat things. I can also change the pink strip on the bottom and the color of the lights up here. So I have, that's all set up to my iPad. I usually take that to somehow match my outfit for the day. And then, so there's that. I set up the music and make sure that, try to like give it a nice even music, mics and music through the mixer. I do that. I take a thumbnail pic every morning. So the one that I made for tomorrow that I just showed you earlier, that's just like an older pic that I've already had in Canva. I do that every day. And then right before the workout, I take a thumbnail pic of what I'm wearing so it matches the actual workout. So when I re-upload, that will get the new picture. Then I did write this down. Check the audio. I put my stream settings into OBS. And then usually 8:56, I hit the start streaming button in OBS, and at 8:58, I hit the go live. And I have what's called, I call it the waiting room now, where I put up like workout starting shortly. I'll actually put up, that helps me just get everything ready on the live stream on my end, because YouTube made some changes that like, they make changes and they don't tell you, and then you get on the live stream and you're like, what am I doing? So I hit the go live button. I have this waiting room going so I can do some things behind the scenes. Like I also write, like I put people's comments in there so people can see like what, something nice, something like motivational or whatever. And so yeah. So, and then I go live at 9 a.m. and that's that.
For the group fitness instructor who's watching us right now and saying, I think what you're doing is phenomenal and I want to be the next Christina Dorner. And what can I do to do this? What's your top three things? You're like, do this, and that'll get you on the road to success.
Like I said last time, just start, just do it, throw some stuff out there. I think that YouTube is actually pushing out some like more smaller channels. I've been seeing them a lot in my feed. I got a girl doing step the other day that I was like, I've never seen her before, which is cool. Like she only had like 80 subscribers or something, so that's cool. You want to be humble about it, because if you go in with an attitude that you are the best, even if you are the best, people don't like that. And also choose what you're good at, right? Like if you're good at something, people will watch you. If you're good at it, people will watch you.
Christina, this has been a great conversation again. I'm really glad you're sharing your knowledge with other people to try to improve their quality of life. And again, spread the word about fitness to the whole world, which again, YouTube and again, other platforms allow you to do, which is, again, it's the most beautiful thing about the internet, is just sharing information with people all over the world. And it's an amazing time we live in, and you're definitely making a difference.
Thank you. The community of people that are on with us every day, being just so tight and so, supportive of each other is just, I can't even explain it. It's just, I'm so grateful and so appreciative of everybody that's with us. It's crazy. Yeah.
Your people are great. I read all their comments.
Aren't they the best? Like I know on that reel that you put up, I was like, oh my God.
They're so nice. I read all their comments. I reply back to them sometimes, and I'm like, you guys rock.
Oh my God. I can't. And it's so great when I get to meet. I was in Florida last week and had a little lunch with a couple of the ladies that are on with us every morning. So that was really fun to be able to. I try to do that. If we travel, I'll be like, oh, is anybody in this area? And kind of meet up with them. And it's fun. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Very cool. All right.
Thanks, Joe.